After the RAF had bombed the original rocket testing site Peenemünde in August 1943, tests of the A4 were also being carried out at an artillery range at Blizna in Poland. The Polish resistance had been keeping a vigilant watch on the activities at Blizna, when during a test flight, an A4 fell from the sky, landing on the banks of the River Bug without exploding. The Poles found the rocket, and before the German recovery team arrived, managed to hide it by rolling it into the water.
So, how you can roll something like this? Sheet metal that falls from the sky.
Been keeping a vigilant watch on the activities at Blizna, when during a test flight, an A4 fell from the sky, landing on the banks of the River Bug.
How high this rocket went and how much fuel they had inside. Because those things can burn for 60 seconds. Thousands of liters of fuel. So I suppose they didn't fuel it up, otherwise it would have exploded. Or it went up 60 miles. This thing should be pancaked. On the ground. Because after 450 meters drop, it reaches terminal velocity. That's about 190 km an hour, 120 miles. A typical skydiver in a spread eagle position will reach terminal velocity after 12 seconds. Yeah, it's called free fall. Just like the moon is free falling with 3,500 km an hour. Oh look, I think this is Earth. Where is the moon? Falling around Earth with 3,500 km an hour. Amazing. Look at this. This is some amazing shit. Yeah, free fall, just like the moon. And this is what 120 miles an hour free fall do with sheet metal. The History Channel really think people are stupid.
The Poles found the rocket, and before the German recovery team arrived, managed to hide it by rolling it into the water.
Rolling it, a V2 rocket, you only show a head here, but this is not from the V2. You want to make people think you can roll it away, but in the same documentary you show the real size. Here, from this point to the tip, this is the head from sheet metal. Nothing would have survived this crash. Liar.
Before the German recovery team arrived, managed to hide it by rolling it into the water.
So you are rolling this warhead into the water. This warhead is around 1,000 kilogram. 2,200 pound.
The Germans, unable to locate the A4,
Yeah, the Germans are stupid. They cannot find this 14-meter long rocket.
Polish engineers supervised the dismantling of the missile before contacting British intelligence.
So they disassemble it. That's a little bit crazy. You are disassembling it for the scrapyard. It looks like we can use nothing anymore from this rocket. And here those NASA dudes, or the US Air Force recovering scientific equipment. Look at this.
The British desperately needed technical information about the mysterious A4.
Yeah, you need some information about scrap, you idiot. The Germans needed a truck, and the Polish guys just rolling it away into the water. Well, you need at least 1 meter 60 deep water, because that is the size of the rocket. Here, diameter 165 or 5.5 feet, and the wingspan is more than 3.5 meters, 11 foot 8 inches. Let's roll that into the water. Those people back in the days were pretty strong.
Last, the Vergeltungswaffe, or revenge weapon, with which he could hit back and retaliate for the increasingly devastating...
Look, this thing also have a warhead of 1,000 kilogram. And they're just pulling it up this ramp. Why you don't use a hinge or a winch? How does that called?
raids conducted by... with which he could hit back and retaliate for the increasingly devastating raids conducted by RAF Bomber Command.
The anti-aircraft guns found it difficult to stop the smaller, low-flying V-1s. The British soon realized the best way to combat the V-1 was to concentrate their guns and destroy the flying bombs long before they reached London. 2 new American defense weapons were also introduced. A radar system which plotted the course of the flying bombs, giving the gun crews more accuracy, and a new close proximity fuse in the gun shells, which exploded when it was within range of the target, turning a near miss into a hit.
Are these projectiles with a proximity fuse? I just saw a shell coming out of here. Here it comes. Are you shooting some empty shells? This is a proximity fuse that's placed on top of the shell. This is some amazing technology back in the days. This is some amazing thing, this fuse. I think it enable itself the moment it got fired from the cannon. Here it got an ampule and a brake ampule. This breaks and then it creates some electricity. That is some dangerous shit. What if you drop one like this? with a chance this ample can break and then this thing becomes activated. It also got a mercury safety switch. How you can reach that when this is screwed into the projectile in the blank? This is just trash. Propaganda, nothing more. Yeah, it looks like those are those proximity fuses, like you show here in this propaganda video. So you're only shooting on those empty shells and then we see explosives. There is no explosives in here. Nothing. The shells are filled with gunpowder, and then you need to shoot off an explosive projectile. But that cannot happen if you have this on top of the shell. Hold on, that's some amazing shit. They're going in all directions. You must shoot them on the V1 rocket. Oh look. Amazing. You need a little bit more cannons. These are like 75 at once.
The new strategy worked, and V1s were being shot out of the sky at an increasing rate. However, because of its speed and size, the V1 was a difficult target.
We had to have an entirely different technique of getting up above them.
You are a liar, Bob. Bob Barkley, 66, in Gematria. Here, 66, in reverse full reduction cipher.
If you got directly behind it, you had the heat haze from the jet, and all you could see was a couple of wingtips.
You are also a liar, Bobby. Bob Cole. After 36, you can translate that to 3 sixes. If you add up the numbers 1 to 36, you get 666. And you can make 3 times 6 of this. And you got the double 7 also. This is just a liar.
By the end of August, only one bomb in 7 got through to the London area. It looked as if the V1 had been mastered.
How can we take a TV channel like History Channel serious? They are just testing the amount of stupidness from the people. And of course we have a lot of shields and trolls replying. Those guys want to make it look real. They all have a granddad. No, your granddad didn't hear a sonic boom. when this thing drops with a couple of thousand kilometers an hour, well above the speed of sound, on London. Here, somebody that's awake. This guy sees some trickery. Here, Nazi scientists. We're ahead of others. This one is just stupid. Have no ability to look skeptic to the footage. How can you roll away a ton warhead, imbecile? Those imbeciles are just repeating and repeating. Great respect for the Polish army, which captured the V2 rocket and sent it to England. This one is totally stupid. I think he never looked at the specs of this V2 rocket. Oh, here the most important parts are being shown. The major components. I miss the most important component here. That's a valve to prevent vacuum. Because this thing uses up 9,000 kilo of fuel in 60 seconds. So this pump must create a huge vacuum. No valve here. Oh, here they confiscated a V2 rocket. I wonder if this is 5.5 feet, 1.60 meters. If that is the case, then this guy is like 3 meters. This is trash. Propaganda. Only trash we see. This thing comes down on London with a couple of thousand kilometers an hour. And then it survives. Here is the fuel pump. Propaganda. Those engines are indestructible. My friend here have a video about V2 rockets. I will leave the link in the description box. I suggest you to watch it and be nice to him. And now I'm gonna play my V2 rocket video. If you not have seen it, then I totally break down this V2 rocket. Anyways, have fun watching. Peace.
Daddy,
Yeah?
you know I can speak like Hitler.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
You want to hear it, Daddy?
Ah, sure, let me hear it.
Meine Arbeit berichtigt, ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin, dass ich gearbeitet habe, dass ich mich in diesen Jahren für dich eingesetzt habe.
Stop it, you idiot bird.
Oh, Daddy, I need to shit. Ich muss scheißen. Bye bye, pieces of shit. Bye.
Okay, this video is about V2 rocket, or the name is A4, the German V2 rocket. Let's see what I told my grandparents.
Forward of the tail unit are the two fuel tanks. First, the liquid oxygen tank, then the alcohol tank. Here they are during the assembly of an actual rocket. These 4 vanes, made of carbon to resist the heat, are situated in the jet, and they can control the rocket only while the jet is burning. This period of control lasts for 60 to 70 seconds and covers the first 20 miles of the trajectory up to the all-burnt position. When it has reached the all-burnt position, the rocket is a free projectile, just like any artillery shell after it has left the muzzle of the gun. This is what actually happened when the Germans fired on London from The Hague. The distance is nearly 200 miles, the maximum range of the A4. The rocket was controlled for the first 20 miles of its flight, or until the jet had stopped burning. At this point, its velocity is 6,500 feet per second, and it is at 43 degrees angle of elevation. It keeps on climbing until it has reached a height of 50 miles, which is halfway on its journey. Then, still traveling towards London, it starts to fall. But it is slowed up to a velocity of 4,000 feet per second by the resistance of the air.
So, let me get this straight. They launched this, and after 20 miles, the jet stopped because there is no fuel anymore. And then it travels another 80 miles or more in this trajectory because it's an arch. It's not a straight line. So without any propulsion, it climbed up to an altitude of 50 miles with 6,500 feet per second, which is 4,400 miles per hour. And then when it's here, it still have a speed of 4,000 feet per second. 4,000. That's 2,700 miles per hour. So you tell me this projectile can do this without any propulsion? No way. This is impossible. Even with that speed. This is just a bullshit video. Propaganda to brainwash my grandma and my grandpa. 180 miles without propulsion. But this is an arch. 300 kilometers from Holland to London. And over 300 kilometers, this arch will be 340 kilometers. I just calculated it. So we added another 25 miles to it without propulsion. Going in upward motion without propulsion. Of course. And then it come here. But I wonder if the people here hear the sonic boom. Because this going faster than the speed of sound. 2 times the speed of sound, at least, when it's here. Yeah, and they fired about 3,172 of those rockets. So we should hear 3,172 sonic booms. Especially the people in London. The North American X-15. NASA's 666 rocket plane. could fly with the speed of Mach 6. And developed a temperature of 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. Mach 4, 5 and 6. He had to be designed to withstand aerodynamic temperatures in order of 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. It had a special high-strength nickel alloy named Iconel X. 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. So, this thing is made of sheet metal. Its speed was even a little bit faster than the X-15 rocket plane. It had 725 kilogram or 1600 pound of high explosive. Behind sheet metal. 650 degrees Celsius or 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. This is just a fantasy rocket. They all should blow up. None could have reached England. It's all garbage. You see how you can use their own words against them? It's garbage. And of course we can find fakery in the X-15 project. His suit is open.
The one man who represents all the others who have worked so long and so hard to make the project a success.
His suit is closed. So somebody changed it in the way in a couple of seconds. Somebody closed it up. And when he sits in the plane, it's all open again. Oh, look.
They have designed and built an
Now they made the camera go up the stairs.
aircraft that could be piloted into space and flown back safely to a controlled landing on
As if the astronaut do it himself.
Earth. They have accumulated important data on
Here his suit looks open again, but I cannot see it clearly.
aerodynamic heating at hypersonic speeds. They've learned about stability and control of aircraft during flight in near space and re-entry to the Earth's atmosphere. And perhaps most important of all,
It looks open here.
space and re-entry to the Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah, it looks open. It's not silver here. So here it's open.
And perhaps most important of all, they have dramatized the potential of
Yeah, you dramatize everything, idiot.
piloted high-performance aircraft in a space environment
Now his suit is open again. We can see that here.
at a time when much of the world's gaze was turned toward orbital flight.
Garbage. Let's check some more from this video. So this thing can burn 8 tons of fuel in 60-70 seconds. Let's see how they fuel it up.
Meanwhile, the fueling troop were bringing up their fuel train. The train consisted of a towed alcohol bowser, a self-propelled alcohol bowser towing a trailer pump, then the towed liquid oxygen vehicle, and finally the bowser for T-Stoff or hydrogen peroxide. The fueling vehicles were concealed near the launching site until needed. When the preliminary tests were completed, the alcohol vehicles were called from their temporary parking place. Alcohol was always the first fuel to be filled in the rocket. The liquid oxygen trailer was the next fueling vehicle to arrive at the launching site. The Germans always tried to fuel the liquid oxygen within an hour of the time of firing the rocket, to avoid freezing up the valves. This arrangement of fueling vehicles round the Meilerwagen was a typical German layout. As well as the alcohol and oxygen vehicles on either side, the T-Stoff vehicle is directly in front of the rocket. The liquid oxygen is fed in at the middle of the rocket. The pump is connected to the permanent delivery pipe on the arm of the Meilerwagen. By now, the oxygen fueling is in full swing, and the pipes through which the liquid oxygen is traveling begin to show the characteristic formation of ice and snow. The oxygen fueling took about 8 minutes to complete. Now that the alcohol fueling of the rocket was finished, the pump was disconnected and the alcohol bowsers began to move off. As the job of each fueling vehicle was finished, it was driven away from the launching site.
So you pumped all this fuel in this rocket. So this is when the truck arrives, and this is when it leaves. It looks like the truck didn't race when you load it in 4,000 liters or 4 tons of fuel, liquid oxygen. There is not much change about this height. You see that? So what do you load in? This looks the same. You know, normally when you unload, this rise up, but it's the same. It's impossible. Let's see the other truck. Here is this alcohol truck when it arrives. Let's see the wheel height, or how do you call that? Let me make this a little bit bigger. So this is when it arrives, and this is when it leaves. So how much fuel they loaded in? Nothing. It's just garbage. This is not correct. They have the same height. It's garbage. So during this video they show how to set up this V2 rocket. You can check the video for yourself. Let's have a look at it.
Is lowered. Then the firing troop take cover in the slit trenches they've dug near the rocket. The troop commander goes to the firing control vehicle. The control panel from which the rocket is fired is in this vehicle. The final steering tests are made. And then the firing troop commander gives his orders.
Hey, wait for the cameraman. He has to go in.
Ist Steuerung klar? Ist klar. Ist Triebwerk klar? Ist klar. Schlüssel aufschießen. Schlüssel steht aufschießen. Durchschalten.
The cameraman is still outside.
Ist durchgeschaltet. Belüftung klar, Zündung klar, Vorstufe klar.
Why is the cameraman still outside? With his camera in front of your face. You cannot see with the cameraman in front of your face. He changed shots from this to this. Did I pause the launch? Piece of trash. We can always spot this crap on war videos.
Hauptstufe gegeben. Stecker gefallen.
Now I think I saw 3 different rockets. Here, let's have a look. This one have a band missing here. You know, it's taken from the same angle. Fit on screen. Fit on screen. It's garbage. It's a scene. It's a movie production. And even when we see this rocket up in the air, it's a different rocket. It's a different rocket. We can see this band here, we can see this band here. We can see no band here. And this is one straight line from black and white, and here it is not. It's just garbage. Looks different.
Hauptstufe! Hauptstufe gegeben! Stecker gefallen!
So you launch this thing, and then you make a cut in the video, and then you see this different rocket. Why this brake? He seems to be good in following those rockets.
When the rocket reaches an altitude of 40 to 50,000 feet, a vapor trail condenses in its wake, just like the trail made by high-flying aircraft. The effect of the rocket going down is an optical illusion caused by the angle of the camera which shot this scene. The rocket's still going up, all right.
Yeah, we see that. It's going up. Idiot. They use this launching table. And they don't bolt it down. They just place it on the ground. And put this 45 foot 12-ton rocket on it. You cannot bolt this thing on the ground.
Could take the weight of the platform. This was done so that the towing dolly could be removed. The launching table is placed over a surveyed mark on the launching site. This is done so that the rocket can be accurately orientated later on. The towing dolly was pulled out and wheeled away. The launching table has an adjustable jack on each leg.
No holes to bolt it down. No holes to bolt it down. It's just freestanding. It's dangerous. So you guys lifting this rocket up, setting it straight, and then let it rest on those thin sheet metal wings.
In August 1943, tests of the A4 were also being carried out at an artillery.
Hey, look. This is idiot. This should break.
Range at Blisna in Poland.
They are not scared. This thing blows over by the wind. Look at this. 12 tons. This is idiot. It's impossible. And this rocket rests on those 4 tiny wings.
This rocket has the motor attached to the tank compartment, which is now complete. The other half shell has been added. But the control compartment is not on the rocket yet. Now we see a tail unit ready to be added to the rocket. Wiring is being...
This looks like paper mache.
Now we see a tail...
So this rocket is gonna rest on those wings.
Wiring is being connected so that the rocket can be tested for electrical continuity.
Or you can make it rest on 4 little knobs here. Four, 5 tons without fuel. It's idiot. It's impossible. The rocket is resting on this tin metal. No way. 12 tons.
The other end, the warhead is secured. This wasn't the normal German practice at this stage, but we wanted the warhead on the rocket so that we could lift it into the proofing tower.
this a real one or not? Let's rewind it. We see this big church here. And when this rocket comes down, we see nothing. And then suddenly this church appears. And the poles disappear. Idiots.
On June 13th, 1944, on the Channel coast of Europe, the age of the missile dawns. Vergeltung 1, vengeance weapon number 1, V1, is fired against England by Adolf Hitler. London, battered, bloody, but unbowed after 4 years of bombing, looks to the skies, bewildered.
Yeah, they all open the windows, they look to the sky. Yeah, that's what we all do when we hear bombs.
What is this strange object? The Allies have landed.
Yeah, what is it? Yeah, walk outside for the cameraman and look up.
In France. Surely the war is almost over.
Oh yeah, yeah. Again the cameraman. Look up, guys. Act horse. Yeah, looking up. Yeah, look up, don't run away. Don't hide. Yeah, again fake bullshit with the switch. It's just garbage. Yeah, there are many cameras. Always present. Even under the planes. Here, everywhere cameras.
In August 1940, the Battle of Britain opened. Hitler hurls 2,300 planes into the Adler Angriff, the Eagle attack, against 704 British fighters. The Luftwaffe is contemptuously confident.
So, filming this? This camera is not even on the wing. How do you do this in the air during the Battle of Britain? How do we do this? It's impossible. It's productions. It's fake bullshit. Here, another one. Are these holes or what in the wing? Who's filming this?
V1s are launched against London.
Yeah, had some nice sound effects.
A new chapter opens, the Battle of the Flying Bombs. The Allied invasion forces Hitler's hand before he is fully ready, and from the Channel coast, V1s rain upon London.
If I was you, I would hide into a bunker, because maybe there's coming more, if you see one.
There can be no defense. The V2 cannot be heard and is but rarely seen before it strikes. And so on September 8, 1944, the first V2 is fired against England.
So we could see burning for a long time. (2022)
The Dornberger to Werner von Braun.
Say they started at 2024.
V2's designer on the day of its first successful launch. Do you realize what we have accomplished today? Today the spaceship was born.
So we almost could see it for 23 seconds. And earlier in my video you saw this guy say it only can burn for 60 seconds. So there is just more than 30 seconds left of fuel to reach that 6,500 feet per second speed. People, it's all bullshit.
The rocket was controlled for the first 20 miles of its flight, or until the jet had stopped burning. At this point, its velocity is 6,500 feet per second.
So fake. Anyways, peace.